Speedway Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network with a little Thursday Night Thunder action. Race number 1 is the 358 small blocks here at Oswego Speedway. And that, of course, sponsored by Amity Construction Corporation. Couldn't do it without all the wonderful sponsors here in Coast to Coast put on these great broadcasts we have. Definitely can't do it without folks like you stepping up, and boy, do you see those drivers running 3 abreast down the front stretch. Those guys appreciate it. They get to go back and admire some of their work here. Let's admire this battle a little bit. It's Anthony Morano, who is down there, Trevor Giroux, and Kurt Schatzer. So 3 good guys running around, and while they're running around, I started doing this last night. It's a little tacky. Someone will yell at me and I'll stop. But until then, this is the way we're going to handle it. So these are the current points coming in here for the small blocks. Now, Anthony Morano, the Ant-Man, currently atop the warm-up charts that say Eldora Speedway, so ignore that while we change that. That's where they were last night in Hometown Heroes. My apologies. But like I was saying, Anthony Morano, top of the charts right now, and well, he's current point leader by a 21-point margin. And Dean Reynolds, who, if you got dirt vision, may want to tune in. They're racing at Oswego right now. They're there for a little thing called Super Dirt Car Week. And, well, Dean Reynolds, he's got a big hand in that, and he's a little busy this weekend. So we're going to miss him this evening, and he's probably going to forfeit second and play points because of that. And then you see Scott Rayone, Trevor Giroux, Alex Pomerleau rounding out the top 5. With drop weeks, you know, pretty much anyone's game at this point. Nobody's significantly out of it. So as long as you know, keep your head up and stay firm here, there's a good chance you get a chance back here to make a run at the Ant-Man, because, you know, it's not fun, but it's real easy to make a mistake, and it doesn't always have to be your fault, as Anthony knows. So looks like John's going to pull in here. He was our last guy on the track that I see. Let me click over to another room here, see if we can. All right, we got the 122. We got Brian Dickens out here taking some laps. But it should be a good one here this Thursday. Still got a little bit of time until we roll off. They don't kick off until 7 Eastern, so got plenty of time to grab a cold one, pop some popcorn, do what you got to do. It looks like no Blake Chapman here so far this evening, so I may be the only one talking about popcorn tonight. Is the salesman, you know, if he shows up and he finishes on that podium, he's talking about some Galen's popcorn. Is the man's on a mission when he's on that podium. But hard to finish on the podium when you're not here. Is maybe Blake taking the night off this evening? As we just watch Randy Shreves ride around, let's go on board with Randy Shreves here. Now, let's watch. Gives it one shot left. You know, you give it that quick turn in, and then the rest of the way, you're turning right, just trying to fight the car to straighten out, because you're at your fastest, you know, 9 times out of 10 when you got that wheel straight and easy on the throttle. So that's what we're going to see here tonight. Drivers fighting here. Let's see Brian Dickens. Now, 2 different styles. He's not turning right as much, and this is... Let's see, we're going to pull up last times here. So we had Dickens and Randy Shreves. Dickens with a 1923, Shreves with a 1931, and that's where you see that's just the difference in fighting in the wheel. Now Brian, he got a little bit up high. He did have to turn it right, but got it straight rather quick. And, you know, keeping that wheel straight, as you see Shreves with a 1939, Dickens with a 1912 last time around, that'll keep updating. It just seems like, you know, the more you talk to people, the more you learn about this car. You really do just want to almost slow it down a little bit. You know, you can't drive like your grandma on the way to the grocery store, but got to take it easy in that thing. You want to keep the wheel straight. That's where you find speed in this small block division, as well as, you know, we're going to see later here after this race, the big blocks come out of the trailer. And well, that's another one, you know, you just want to keep the wheel as straight as you can. As Butch Baker in the 97 pulls out for his first laps here this evening. Him and Jeff Barker actually on the track getting in their first laps. Just excuse that background noise, I promise you. I am not a beer drinker, but I am a soda drinker. And don't get between me and my Pepsi/Mountain Dew. You just heard me crack open a cold Mountain Dew. Can't wait to start guzzling that thing down. It's the 513. This is Jeff Barker, who we talked about earlier. I could actually, here we go. To see Jeff Barker, the Brewerton, New York native. Just going out here trying to get some smooth laps in. Let's watch Jeff here. And actually, we don't get to see the steering wheel as much in this year. That's why I like rolling at the roll bar. getting that wheel as straight as he can. He fought it a little bit on entry. You know, everybody's going to do that a little bit. Now here where maybe he doesn't want to be turning right as much as he was, and you know, would like to eventually over time smooth that out. As we bring back up, you see the fastest lap in warm-ups there, that 18:45. We are going to see nowhere near that here come qualifying. Lots and lots of cars on the track. So this track is it's fine by all means, but it has suffered some abuse. Hop back over to see what the 32's doing here. Is probably got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes or so left here in warm-up. So be patient, and then we'll be bringing you some qualifying here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Once again, huge shout out to Amity Construction Corporation. Couldn't do it without you. And, you know, as well as just some of the other guys who don't necessarily get as much love as they should. You know, I try to say it as much as I can, but guys like Bill Calder, Jeff Barker, Patrick Spangler, you know, Cullen, we're still thinking about you, man. We know you went through that tough time. You've done so much, especially for the asphalt part of things. And, well, as we all know, Roger Craig, the granddaddy here of Coast to Coast, nothing gets done without that man. So we appreciate all the work and time he has put into this thing. And as you see, Bob DeGood, he hit that spot in the wall. Well, that was perfect. That is a spot where they need to fix that a little bit. If you get into that too hard, you teleport into outer space and go back to the pits. So Bob DeGood, he found that out now rather than later. Let's see here. Got Randy Shreves still out here on the track. Randy Shreves, you know, we watched him earlier. Let's see if he's still, you know, there we go. Big crank to the right on exit. That's not what you want. So Randy's still out here trying to get laps in, smooth himself out a little bit. There you go. He had a little straight. That's better. You know, it doesn't necessarily feel better to you as the driver. You don't get that wah sound. You know, you want to hear that motor. A lot of us are accustomed to that, but man, a lot of times that just means your wheels are spinning. You know, you need to make sure you're getting traction and you're getting full grip. If not, the guy beside you who's maybe 3/4 throttle can drive around you on the outside, and I've seen it happen night in and night out. So just things that guys have to work on here throughout the night. As you see the 99 of Gavin Chatham come around. It is a little after 7, so I imagine here any moment these guys will be rolling into qualifying here for tonight's first Thursday Night Thunder event. I have 21 drivers that I can see in the session, so will not need a B main unless we would get a large influx here to close out. Let's give you an aerial view here. You see the inside covered in, pavement. Well, that's because, as you can see the transition, this is a pavement track. You know, they have to load in dirt here and cover the track, and I imagine Dean does that all by himself without the help of hundreds of workers, and they put on a big show here, and when it's over, they get to strip it all off and get ready to do it again next year. But let's take a look here. Let's see who pulls out first for qualifying this evening in the 358's. Got a couple guys coming out, but it's looking like Eddie Brissett gonna earn the right to get on camera here. Well, now that I say that, he's slowing down here. We got guys passing him. Let's roll over. I tried, Eddie, but as you see with the transition, Bob DeGood now is the furthest car ahead on the track, going to be the first person to take the green flag here. So let's keep an eye on the 7 of Bob DeGood. In that high line here in 3 and 4, we didn't see any guys even in warm-ups do that, so it'll be interesting to see what this lap time looks like. As Bob the Good, he'll inherently be P1 for a little bit, but the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, says, man, I'm going to take that over here, as he comes in with a quick lap in that 32 machine. Gavin Chatham, the Dark Knight, just sneaks out of the shadows. He takes the pole for now. Can Anthony Morano answer? No, he can't. As Gavin Chatham rolls around, we see Samuel Bachman, purple sector 1. He takes the pole in the 007. Gavin Chatham, slower through sector 1, quicker through sector 2, the fastest, but not enough to take the pole back from this man in the 007 as we see him come around for the final time. Purple sector 1, slower sector 2, slower lap, but right now, Samuel Bachman on the pole with only Butch Baker and I believe Greg Parmalee left to qualify. Let's watch Butch here as he rolls through 3 and 4 for the final time. Is personally quicker through sector 1. What did we see through sector 2? Quicker, where's he going to go? Butch is going to move up to P14 for Butch Baker. As that should do it here for qualifying. No more drivers. Yet the qualifying we advance here. So should have 3 heat races here this evening. And the first one is going to line up like this. Starting on the pole, the 2 of Harold Klump into his outside in the 513, Jeffrey Barker. Inside of row number 2, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, and his outside in the 007, Samuel Bachman. Inside of row number 3, the 011 of Randall Dixon into his outside, Butters, Jason Butterfield. Rounding out the field, we see him roll by there in that 4 machine, Greg Parmalee. As Gambler Motorsports Heat Race number 1 gets ready to go underway here, you got to think one of the early favorites starting on that front row, especially Jeff Barker, but you can't count out the Full Throttle Motorsports teammates in row number 2 as the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. They roll down the front stretch. Let's go racing here at Oswego Speedway. Harold Klump brings us to the green flag. Harold Klump with a good run on the bottom through 1 and 2. Anthony Morano tucks right on, and he's trying to get by the Brewerton Beast here early as we go up top. Let's watch him fan out. The Ant-Man stuck on the bottom, trying to shrink down and fit underneath. Jeff Barker with a big run on the top side, not going away for now. The Brewerton Beast, though, getting held up a little bit maybe right now as the Ant-Man gets under the 2 of Harold Klump. Harold Klump not looking as comfortable in the top as the 513 of Jeff Barker as the Ant-Man looks low here, side by side at the line. Give it to Harold Klump, 6 to go. Oh, Harold gets sideways, and, well, Jeff has to check up. Samuel Bachman rolls on by in the basement. And now Samuel Bachman up to P3, as he looks to get by Harold Klump and follow his teammate in the 32. Looks to the bottom in 1 and 2. That's where we've seen Harold Klump struggle a little bit. Just enter in half a lane higher than he'd like to, and it allows Samuel Bachman to get that run in the middle of the corner. Lots and lots of laps here left at Oswego. Long racetrack. Just hit the halfway point. 4 laps to go, so plenty of time for Sam Bachman. Sam's going to look to the inside here in 3 and 4. Not enough room to slide up. He's got to back off the throttle. Harold Klump holds it for now. 3 to go as Anthony Morano loves looking in the rearview mirror and watching this battle happen. Jeff Barker sends it in deep there into 1 and 2 as he's maybe found a little something on the bottom, trying to reel those guys back in. Learn something from watching Sammy as Sammy throws the slide job. Harold Klump looking to the bottom here as we enter turns 1 and 2. Harold does a good job this time in 1 and 2. You know, maybe wishing he would have done it before here, but he backs off, falls in line, and, well, Sam Bachman, you got 1 lap to go run down your teammate in that 32 machine as the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, got to the lead early, didn't waste time. Coming down the backstretch, your current point leader in the 32 is going to take the checkered here at Oswego Speedway, and he is going to start on the pole for tonight's feature event, followed by Sam Bachman, Harold Klump, Jeff Barker, Jason Butterfield, Greg Parmalee, and Randall Dixon. Is Anthony Morano able to go up there, steal heat race number 1? And I told you, keep an eye on those FTM boys, row number 2. Well, they move their way on up to row number 1 quite easily, it looked like. And starting on the pole here for Regency Home Inspection heat race number 2, we have the 213 of Michael Vitale into his outside, Chris Alvey. Inside of row number 2, the 122 of Brian Dickens into his outside, the Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham in the 99. Inside of row number 3, the 97 of Butch Baker into his outside, the Canadian, Alex Pomerleau. Rounding out the field in the 015, we've got Eddie Brissett. As Michael Vitale looks to lead us to the green flag here. Keep an eye on Gavin Chatham. He's got to find a way to get to the bottom, but that 99, he's got some speed here. He showed it in qualifying. But he's going to have to work hard as the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 2 is underway. Look, excuse me there, I had to cough as Chris Alvey gets into the outside wall. Tough run through 1 and 2, and he does the magic act that we talked about. He disappears, and Chris Alvey, just like that, finds himself in the back. And well, I'm noticing a little problem here with SDK. Let's try to fix this here. So we'll see if that gives it the juice. Not sure why it double overlaid here. That was pretty weird, but the battle heats up front. The 122 of Brian Dickens all over the back of the 213 as Gavin Chatham tries to hold off Butch Baker. Butch Baker, remember, poor qualifying effort, but man, he seems to have some speed hanging with that 99 right now, no problem. Michael Vitale is previous feature winner here in the small block division. Would love to put himself in a good chance here to win another one, but that 122 of Brian Dickens, he's got some different ideas. He's got a lot of speed. He'd love to find a way to get to the front, but right now, just having a lot of difficulties behind that 213. A lot better on the entry of 1 and 2, but just can't find the speed through the slick to get under him going down the back stretches. Brian Dickens looks to the high side in 3 and 4, trying to counter. We'll see. He gets a big run. Whoa, maybe gets into the 213. That opens the high side for the Dark Knight. I told you, he's like Batman, comes out of the shadows. All of a sudden, he's up here battling. Gavin Chatham banging doors. Him and Brian Dickens get together. No harm, no foul. That is just racing. Gavin did nothing wrong. I know Brian is probably just a little frustrated at the situation. But man, Gavin found a hole, and he shot for it. Does he have enough time to get up to the 213? About a lap and a half here as we roll through 3 and 4. Flagman grabs that white flag, white in the air one more time around. Brian Dickens looks to the inside of the 99. Not enough to get a good run off here. Looks like we're kind of determined. First battle on the track back there for 5th as we see Eddie Brissett and Alex Pomerleau get together. But it's settled up front. Michael Vitale wins heat race number 2, followed by Gavin Chatham, Brian Dickens, Butch Baker, Alex Pomerleau. I think he was trying to stop there to let Eddie go by. Probably, yeah, felt bad about the deep move. And nice move there by Alex. I mean, nobody, Eddie, may not be happy, but you get to go in, you get a new car. No big deal, no harm, no foul. You were back there running for 5th. He let you finish 5th and realized he made a mistake. I always respect the guys who are willing to do that. Says a lot about them. But inside of row number 1, starting on Heat race number 3, brought to you by Mauer Farm Management. And starting on the front row, the 56 of Randy Shreves, and to his outside, Superman Kurt Schatzer. Inside of row number 2, the 7 of Bob DeGood, and to his outside, the Philly Flyer Trevor Giroux. Inside of row number 3, the 247 of Michael Vecchio, and to his outside in that 033 machine, John Morano. Rounding out the field, there we go. Just hopped in there for a second, I believe. There he goes. Oh, maybe Gary having some connectivity issues. Not sure. I think I'm seeing him blink in and out. But Gary Siegelcow rounding out the field. So have to see. It does look like Gary is blinking a little bit in the back. And, well, that's going to be a tough break for him. Lights are off on the pace car. So once again, pull off going down the backstretch. And this field will get ready to go race, and winner of heat race number 3 will start the feature on the inside of row number 2. So Kurt Schatzer, Randy Shreves, Trevor Giroux, Bob DeGood, they're all going to fight hard. You got to keep an eye on the Philly Flyer here if he can get to the inside. But my favorite here, I like Superman Kurt Schatzer. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 3 underway. Kurt Schatzer trying to mount a charge there on that outside, and boy, is he going to do so. Randy Shreves with no drive off in the Philly Flyer. He was just cracking the whip there. Big set from Bob DeGood, and man, oh man, John Morano pays the ultimate price here. We are going to try and look at this here real quick. Does Bob catch the inside wall? No, he just gets a little... Maybe John thought John turned down a little too early, almost got in the inside wall, and then he had to counter steer up and just nowhere to go. Tough break. But battle up front, still as is. Kurt Schatzer got to the front right away, stayed out there in the Philly Flyer, just trying to find a way on by, but... Man, no luck right now for that 075s. Just got to stay in line because that 56 of Randy Shreves, well, he was right there as he gets into the outside wall, and that's going to slow down the 56 as Michael Vecchio in the 247. He looks to try to drive his way on up there. Started 5th, running 4th currently in that 247 machine. Halfway home in heat race number 3, and the Philly Flyer all over the back of Superman. If Superman doesn't watch it, that cape might get run over here if it starts dragging on the track. 3 more times around. Can Trevor find a way around? It seems like a 1-lane racetrack right now. All guys wanting that high side, so... Not looking good right now for the Philly Flyer, but if anybody can find a way around, it's going to be this 75. 2 more trips around the sun as the Philly Flyer tries to pull beneath. Can't do it. Falls back up in line. Going through 3 and 4. The flagman grabs the white. He starts waving it. 1 more trip around the sun. Can the Philly Flyer get by the 218 of Kurt Schatzer? Looks low coming out of 2. Does he have time for 1 final send here as he peaks it low? Kurt Schatzer's going to get the big run off the top shelf, and that's all he's going to need to win heat race number 3. Trevor Giroux, P2. Randy Shreves, 3rd. Michael Vecchio, 4th. Gary Siegelcow, 5th. And Bob DeGood, 6th. John Morano, we saw the early trouble for him, and he's going to come home P7. And with that, we'll take a quick commercial break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we will be back with your first feature of the evening here on Thursday Night Thunder, presented by Amity Construction Corporation. Stick around. We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and right now Gavin Chatham at the top of those speed charts. Let's bring up the points one last time here for that quick refresher. Anthony Morano, the pole sitter. Ignore Dean Reynolds. He's not here tonight. We love him. He's going to have to use it as a drop week. Scott Rayone, third. Philly Flyer there, fourth. Alex Pomerleau, fifth. Superman had a good run in his heat, and there he is, P6. So keep an eye on those guys here throughout the night. Is going to want to try to make a charge, make a move, but remember, we saw those quick times in practice. I believe around an 18:14, I think was the Ant-Man, or 18:04. So about a second and 1.2 seconds off here. So track has really slowed down. Seems to be a little bit of a one groove. So we'll see if we can get anything rolling here once the feature starts. But these guys are going to have their works cut out for them here as we get ready for tonight's main event here at Oswego Speedway, sponsored by Amity Construction Corporation. And, well, starting on the pole, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, and to his outside, Michael Vitale. Inside of row number 2, Superman, Kurt Schatzer, and to his outside, in the 007, James Bond, Samuel Bachman. The Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham, rolls off on the inside of row number 3, and to his outside, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. Harold Klump to the inside of row number 4, and his dance partner in the 122, Brian Dickens. Randy Shreves to the inside of row number 5, and to his outside, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Butch Baker in the 97 to the inside of row number 6, and to his outside in the 247, Michael Vecchio. Jason Butterfield, rolls off in the Baker's dozen spot, into his outside in the 015, Eddie Brissett. Gary Sigelkow rolls off on the inside of row number 8, and to his outside, Greg Parmalee. Alex Pomerleau, the Canadian, to the inside of row number 9, and to his outside in the 7, Bob DeGood. Randall Dixon to the inside of row number 10, and to his outside, Chris Alvey. Rounding out the field this evening in the 033, we've got John Morano. Now, picks on top of picks. If you don't pick the point leader here, and you hop on FanDuel or DraftKings, and I don't care if they have the Ant-Man at minus 500. What that means is you bet 500 on the man just to make $100, and you'll bring home $600 at the end of the day. And boy, I don't care what the odds are. You take the Ant-Man right now, and if you're minus 500, bet $20 to make 2 or 3 here, but that's the move. The Ant-Man on the front row, going to be tough to beat as the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Amity Construction Corporation Feature 358 Small Block Modifieds is underway. Let's go play. The Ant-Man right away on that bottom needs to get to the top. Excuse me as you hear Shaggy have some hiccups. Tries to get up to that top shelf, but man, Michael Vitale, the underdog, you gotta think here, peeks to the outside. He's gotta drive it in deep. You can't let the 32 in front of you. Is the Ant-Man gonna be able to go up and close the door? Not just yet. Michael Vitale won't go away. Oh, now he's stuck though. Anthony able to get in front, and Michael Vitale gotta fall in line as we watch the battles throughout the field. Randall Dixon in the 011 already up 4 spots. Started 19th, up to 15th, on the move, and it is going on in front of him. Michael Vecchio in that 747 tried to throw it in. We see Gavin Chatham there on the bottom of our screen going up in under Superman. Superman washed up over the top. And now Sam Bachman to his inside. The 007 with a big send into 3 and 4. And the Philly Flyer tries to peek below Kurt Schatzer. Can't do it, gotta fall in line. Gonna peek up top, though, for now. Try and see if he can find a way around as Kurt Schatzer looked to the bottom of, I believe, the 007. Yes, that is Samuel Bachman. He's back under him again here in 3 and 4s. The 122 of Brian Dickens. He's down there searching in the basement. Let's find this roll bar. Let's ride along with Brian Dickens in the 122. Get to see what's going on in front of him. Oh, car in the wall. Gavin Chatham in the 99. You see Samuel Bachman now ducking underneath here, seeing if he can get by Gavin after that mistake. And right now looks to mission accomplished here by the 99. Now he's got to go work on the 213. Michael Vitale started second, has run in second, not able to hold Anthony Morano behind him there on the, or hold him to the inside, excuse me, on that restart. Well, it's just kind of rolled around here. It's got a decent car, hasn't felt pressure from behind, but we don't really know what's going on yet from behind. We've seen these guys racing hard, and now Gavin, after making that mistake a couple laps ago, finds himself back under the 007, but just with a bad run out of 3 and 4, had to give it up. Gavin here not letting go. He dives to the bottom in 3 and 4. This is where we see a couple guys differentiate. So big run now off the top shelf from Sam Bachman, but man, oh man, the 99, he may have found something in 3 and 4, and that's something, I'll tell you what, Sammy's saying, hey, Ant-Man, we got to watch out. There's a line coming in on the bottom, and now we got to watch out. There's a car around on the track. Caution is out. Michael Vecchio involved. See if we can find Michael Vecchio in the 247 here. He's in that white and blue machine. So right now, Butch Baker below him. Oh, he gets some help. Who was the culprit? The 93. That is, I believe. Yeah, Butters. Jason Butterfield, the culprit, just getting into the back of him a little bit here. Let's find, let's ride on board with Butters. Let's find that cockpit view. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but just enough, and Michael's going to go around. But the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, able to stay in pretty firm control here out front. And well, if you're out there watching tonight, let us know who you're rooting for in that chat boxes. Can't take Anthony now. He's all mine. I took him first. If you want him for the big block race, you get it in now, because he's on that front row for the big block race. I'm going to take him then too. You put that 32 on the front row, it's like taking candy from a baby. I mean, not that other people can't come win here. We've seen it done plenty of times. People get around. Well, not plenty of times people get around Anthony, but man, you know, if he's in front of you, he's a tough guy to pass. Does a good job of setting his car up in 2 lines, and that's what you need to do when you're out front. As the 32 will get set to bring us to the green flag here after our first caution of the evening. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly, and we're back underway at Oswego Speedway. Anthony Morano with a great restart. See him fan out behind him here is still too wide. You know, if you're on that high side, you don't want to give it up. You really want to force the issue and find a way around that guy. And man, that's what we're seeing. Can't be patient right now if you're up top. You got to take advantage, and you got to try to go around. Is Gavin Chatham. We saw him working the inside earlier on Sam Bachman. Well, now he's going to go up to the high side. As Sam learned his lesson, he's going to go down there and shut that door. Jeff Barker in that red and yellow machine finds himself almost in the middle, 3 wide here. Randy Shreves with a big run on the top shelf. Maybe got a little sideways. Couldn't tell if they made contact. As Kurt Schatzer up front. Superman, he's got the cape on, flying around the high side of the speedway. Gavin Chatham back downstairs in 3 and 4, trying to find his way up to that final podium position. So hard to pass here at Oswego Speedway, and, well, we are really seeing that here. Oh, big wreck in 1 and 2. We saw that at the end. Is now they're wrecking in 3 and 4 as well, so a lot to diagnose here. We're going to go back and try to figure this out. Maybe it started with the Canadian here, Alex Pomerleau, in the 297. Looks about to be that vicinity as Eddie Brissett goes in there. Got a little sideways. Randall Dixon gets into him. He comes in, gets into Pomerleau. Pomerleau with a wild ride. As he has to tow, and then we go find... Not too sure what had ended up happening up here. So Butch Baker involved. Let's see. Let's go find Butch. So this all happens way after the fact here. We don't know who it started with or where. We don't mean to blame Butch. So Kurt Schatzer at this point, he's already around. So we are going to pause this here. It looks like maybe Kurt, who does he get into the side of there? Brian Dickens. All right. So Kurt and Brian make contact on entry. And Kurt goes around. No, look at Harold Klump. Man, oh man, look at that. Oh, he does get into the outside wall pretty hard, but does a good job of not T-boning Kurt. Like, man, Butch Baker nowhere to go. And see John Morano, he thinks, man, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Oh, Butch Baker, no, Butch. And barely gets into the 97, but caution out here at Oswego. Oh, and it looks like actually maybe with the longer pace stops, they may have shortened it here because we're back racing. As you see, Gary Siegelkow just getting out on the track, I believe, in front of those guys to stay on the lead lap. But Anthony Morano brings us back, and, well, we're racing again. Right now, Michael Vitale able to get a good restart here. Gavin Chatham, enough right now to take over P3 at the line, but the 007 of Samuel Bachman looks in the basement through 3 and 4. Gavin Chatham makes his money, though, through 3 and 4, and he's not going to give it up that easy as he holds on to P3. He wants to go to work. He's got to feel like he's got a good race car. He's fastest in the speed charts after a little our warm-up action, and now we got, here comes a little lap traffic. So let's keep an eye on the front here. This could get real interesting. We're going to zoom out. We want to watch it. Is up here on top of the box. The Ant-Man comes up on the 25 of Gary Siegelkow. Gary, I think, trying to keep it on the bottom right now. The Ant-Man had to check up, and boy, oh boy, we got a race. Here comes Michael Vitale. Gary doing a good job of staying on the bottom, keeping out of the way, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. And, well, we're racing up front here as all of a sudden Michael Vitale right behind the 32 of Anthony Morano. Samuel Bachman able to get back to third as he drives around the high side. He gets around Gavin Chatham. Sammy in the 007. He would love to get up here and flirt with his teammate a little bit for this top step of the podium. It's 10 more trips around at Oswego. Trevor Giroux, the Philly Flyer, he's trying to get up in the mix here, trying to look under the 99 of Gavin Chatham. Gavin went up to that top shelf after he saw Samuel go around and seems to be committed up there, but caution is out here once again with 9 laps to go. Chris Alvey. Take a look at the 96 as we go down the backstretch. We enter turns 3. Oh, that's Michael Vitale into the wall in front of him, and Chris Alvey tries to sneak around. Nowhere to go, and he loops around. Anthony Morano brings us. Tightens the field back up here as we watch him roll into turns 3. Pretty big gas. Still just got under caution, so everybody's still tightening up here. Anthony Morano has for sure been the dominant race car here. Michael Vitale been able to hold on to P2 for how long? With Samuel Bachman now up to P3. Let's see here while the lights are still on. This will show us their wins, actually. So Anthony with 1 win on the season, Alex with a win, Logan Wentz with a win, and Isaac Salas with a win. So right now, Anthony Morano, I guess, would be the only repeat winner in the top 5. So odds in his favor right now to get number 2 on the season. Is very tough to pass here at Oswego, and you almost need a mistake out of that 32, and well, he don't make many of them. As we go through 3 and 4 here for the final time, Anthony Morano set to bring us to the green flag. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. 8 laps to go here at the Big O. Let's see if anybody can dethrone Anthony Morano or if the 32 can hold on. Samuel Bachman trying to look to that top shelf here in 3 and 4. And now Michael Vitale. I said Vitale earlier involved. That was Michael Vecchio. They always get me. Both start with a V. Both very neat, intricate names. But Michael Vitale still up here in P2. But man, Samuel Bachman here. Now he's going to set him up. He's got a counter underneath here. That's what he does. And you got to go big time here into 1 and 2. Michael Vitale drives in way too deep. He gets up in the wall and not only loses second, but loses third to the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, up to third. Samuel Bachman, you got to think, not a lot of time left to catch him, but with a caution, that's plenty of time left for the 007, and, well, caution on the racetrack. So let's see here, Michael Vecchio involved in another incident here. Him and the 96 get into it, and well, it comes to a stop on the front stretch, and caution is out. Should have 4 more trips around the sun here when we get the green flag. And Anthony Morano, he's got his... No, he does not have his teammate behind him because it goes back to the previous lap. Sam Bachman, he's got to find a way to work himself back in front of Michael Vitale once again. So you got to think here, if anyone is faster than Anthony right now, and that's a big if, probably is the 007 of Sam Bachman. But now that he's got to work himself around another race car, you just got to think 4 laps probably isn't enough time, as long as the 32 can play some mistake-free football, as they like to say. if he can do that, if he can just nail this restart and get himself a good 2-car length gap, it's going to be tough to run down the Ant-Man. As the lights are off on the Steve King Foundation pace car, and we will get ready to go back green this time by, as Brian Dickens you see up there in that pink, black, and yellow machine trying to warm up those rear tires here, getting into it. The Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, rolls through 3 and 4, looks to take the green flag with 4 laps to go here at Oswego Speedway. Can the Full Throttle Motorsports team come home 1-2, or will Samuel Bachman be stuck in P3 and now may fall back to P4? Look at the big move in the basement from the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. Trevor Giroux looking for that 3rd and final podium spot here. Is, remember, he was up into 3rd, but because when that caution came out, he had to give it back up, and well, he's got to go back to work. And side by side with the 007 of Samuel Bachman, who is going to get it as they roll through 3 and 4. 2 more trips around, advantage Sam Bachman high side. Anthony Morano only wants to see 2 more flags. The white and the checkered. As he rolls through 3 and 4, he's about to see the first one. White flag in the air one more time around for the 32. Anthony Morano started 2nd, got out front right away, and man, that 32 has been perfect. Absolute rocket ship tonight, and the 32 of Anthony Morano is going to win your 358 feature, followed by Michael Vitale, Samuel Bachman, Trevor Giroux, and Gavin Chatham rounding out the top 5. Brian Dickens 6th, Harold Klump 7th, Randy Shreves 8th, John Morano 9th, and Jeff Barker 10th. Harold Klump 11th, Randall Dixon 11th, Chris Alvey 12th, Michael Vecchio 13th, Gary Sigelkow 14th, Bob DeGood 15th, Butch Baker 16th, and the rest of the field, Greg Parmalee, Eddie Brissett, Alex Parmalu, Kurt Schatzer, and Jason Butterfield in 21st. Great run for the Ant-Man. Anthony Morano is able to seal victory here tonight. 2nd feature win of the season, and gonna give these guys a minute or two to catch their breath, and well, then we'll pull them on up here. We do have those guys down here, so looks like we'll pull up the 007. Hey, Sam, Shaggy up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I got you.
Man, you know, it seemed like you had a quick car tonight, but just very unfortunate. You know, you'd get around somebody, and you made that little mistake earlier. Had to get those spots back, and then when you finally get up to P2, man, caution comes out at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's racing for you. It was definitely a good race. Me and Michael were battling out for a couple laps, and I mean, we were racing pretty hard, but I mean, it was definitely fun, that's for sure. I was having a blast.
Yeah, you know, I mean, looking at the racetrack here tonight, it seemed like, you know, kind of one lane dominant. I mean, you could make the other lanes work, but talk to us about how hard it was to hit that bottom and make it work.
It was pretty hard. You kind of had to use a little brake and then just glide right in there and let the car set itself. But the last 10 laps, it seemed like that top just came out of nowhere, and I started hitting it or whatever, and I started reeling in Michael Vitale and Anthony, and I was like, wow, it's really quick up here. And then that last caution came out, and I think it cooled my tires down a little too much. Probably took my momentum away.
Now, with more power here next in the big block, do you think we'll see the race move up to the top a little faster?
Yeah, it probably will. It'll probably burn up a little faster too, so could be down to the bottom quicker.
So I think you just heard my wife maybe break something in the sink. My apologies, but great run here tonight, Sam. That was a real impressive run here to finish there third on a track that, not very easy to pass at. So congratulations, my man. Who you want to thank?
All the boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard getting us some dig lately. Uh, Expert Installation, Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series. You for putting the broadcast on, and Coast to Coast for doing this.
Well, congratulations, Sam, and good luck here in the big box, my man.
Thank you.
Now we'll bring up our second place finisher here in the 213, Michael Vitale. Shaggy up here, man. You got a copy?
I got you, Shaggy.
Well, it just seemed like you kind of were where you belonged here tonight. Nobody could really keep up with the 32, but, to bring you back here to the opening start here, do you think you could have maybe done anything different to force that 32 behind you, or was he just too quick, Mike?
I'll be totally honest with you. I was trying to move around on the track. I wasn't gaining on him at all. So at that point, it was, try to hold what I had. Yeah, Tony was definitely fast tonight.
Yeah,
but I knew
was.
Sammy. I knew Sammy was coming on that outside. I don't know how he does it, but he was running that outside, and he was fast. So I kind of got lucky with the caution there. I can't take that away. So I was fortunate with that caution there, and apologize when I kind of checked up. I didn't realize it came out, and I kind of locked it up a little bit.
Well, sometimes you got to get lucky, and that caution, nothing, that wasn't your fault. They ended up wrecking behind you guys when you go back and look at it. So totally irrelevant, but just, I was going to ask you about that moment. What happens there? You just see the guy below you and you just want to drive it in a little too deep. Was that the case there?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, congratulations, Mike. Dude, finishing in between a Full Throttle Motorsports team, that's almost better than winning nowadays. Those guys have been so dominant, and for you to break up that tandem here tonight, that's a hell of a job, Mike. You think you got anything for him in the big block?
Well, you know what? For some reason this season, I'm actually performing a little better in the big block, so I'm hoping to give him a little bit of put it to the test tonight.
Well, hey, Mike, looking forward to it, man. Good luck in that race. But before you get out of here, man, who you want to thank?
Most of all, I want to thank my wife for letting me do this day in and day out. My teammates, Billy Roberts over at Gears Unlimited, Randy, Jake, you for putting this on, and just all the drivers. So yeah, appreciate it.
Well, hell of a job, Mike. Like you say, man, holding those guys off, that's a tough feat. Congratulations on the P2. Good luck in the big block.
I appreciate it.
And we're going to pull up your winner here this evening, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Anthony, it seemed like early in the race, nobody really had anything for you, but when we get that caution towards the end, were you scared at all, or did you think you had it in the bag?
I was pretty confident in it. It's not an easy track to pass on, especially with just when you get down to the single file restarts and stuff like that. As long as you can just hit turn 1 and 2 right, usually fine as long when you're coming out in the lead. So, things can happen. I could clip a wall. I can do something stupid. I'm notorious for it. But it was just hit my mark going in the corner and get back to throttle and should be all right.
We talked to Sam a little bit, and he talked a little bit about, you didn't really have to. You could run wherever you wanted, but that top shelf seemed to open up a little bit those last 10 or so laps. Do you think we'll get a little different line variation here when we get the big blocks out, or what are you thinking? What's your game plan?
Yeah, you'll see more guys up top, I think. You'll be able to carry a little bit more momentum and less wheel spin up there. So that's how it's been in the officials this week, a lot of topside stuff. But we'll see how it goes. I haven't really ran any fixed officials. I ran the open one. So, but yeah, I think you'll see a lot more guys, especially in 1 and 2 running the top. Maybe not so much in 3 and 4, but we'll see.
Well, hey, man, big run tonight, able to take advantage of that front row starting spot, and, man, just dominated here at Oswego in the 358. So congratulations. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys at FTM. Say hi to those guys over there that are actually at Oswego tonight. I know Dean, Scott, and Dylan are all over there hanging out. But, Dean at Super Dirt Car, Logan at High Mom Lens, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, TJ's Sim Shop, Bowman's Designs, Castleberry Flagstone, MDI TV, Expert Installation, griphack.com, Shaggy, Puna Broadcast, and everyone here at Coast to Coast.
Well, hey, great job here, Anthony. Man, look forward to talking to you after this big block. What do you say?
I'm going to try.
All right, go get him. That's your winner in the 32, Anthony Morano. And with that, we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Stick around. We will be right back with tonight's main event on Thursday Night Thunder, sponsored by Justified AMR, the big block modifieds here at Oswego. Stick around.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
of love. It was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push.
We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and here for the main event, the Atlantic Management Resources big block here at the Oswego Speedway. Guys do have the option to run the 358 if they want to, but I would imagine you'd stick for the extra power here tonight. My apologies for cutting that last ad short, but I do, like I say, I'm filling in for Marty Cicala here tonight. He is having fun at Oswego. He's here in person right now with those guys, and we're filling in for him tonight. But I have another gig at 9 o'clock, so I figured if I'd roll this over here, maybe I'll end up rolling into qualifying here because we may be pushing it close on time this evening. Try to get your full driver interviews at the end of this thing. But let's bring up here the points for the big blocks. Right now, Scott Rayome, he is not here. I believe he is at Super Dirt Week. I believe. Michael Vitale, P2, he might take over the points lead with a good run. Dylan Kinsey also at Super Dirt Car Week, so a little busy. Dino, Anthony. So Anthony and Michael are the only two that are here currently in the top 5, so those guys will be trying to use drop weeks. That is for sure. Your winners this year, you see Isaac Salas, Samuel Bachman, Anthony Morano, and Scott Rayome, so maybe a good chance at getting a new, a first-time winner here. And well, I say it every time. I literally said it a couple nights ago. If you want on the broadcast, pull out of the pits early. That is your best way to get it. You pull out, and well, you're all by yourself out there in qualifying, and here we go. Get a little 31 action. Brandon Templeton, he's the first car out on the racetrack. If you're out there watching, let us know who you're rooting for, who you think's going to win this evening. Brandon Templeton puts in that opening lap right now at P2, 10th off. No, Brian Dickens, the first car to break the 19-second barrier, and now Trevor Giroux, he jumps on the train, and the Philly Flyer in the 075, he moves on up. Trevor Giroux, can he improve here? Doesn't look to be quicker. And it's not. Anthony Morano, he did improve on that second lap. So let's see who else we have coming around here. Logan Wentz in the 118. Let's bring back up the points. Was Logan? No, okay. I thought Logan was higher up in the points than that. Right now, Logan's got to settle with that. Gavin Chatham on his final time around, possibly got into the wall on his first lap. And now he gets his first lap in. Third place for the 99 of Gavin Chatham. Good run for Gavin. As that is all the cars here. Bob the Good not putting in a qualifying time here this evening, and we're going to get ready to kick off Gambler Motorsports Heat Race number 1. Starting on the pole, the 118 of Logan Wentz into his outside, Harold Klump. Inside of, or actually row number 2, we got a Full Throttle Motorsports row here. Samuel Bachman to the inside and Anthony Morano to the outside. Row number 3, Jason Butterfield into his outside in the 011, Randall Dixon Bob the Good did not put in a qualifying time. Not sure if he is here for this or not, but if he does show up, he is going to be starting P7. You can see all those guys. I wonder why SDK is double overlaying us here tonight when we pull that away and bring it back. Let's do a quick refresh here. There we go. All is better, except with Bob the Good. Bob the Good still not able to make grid yet, so have to see if he's able to show up for the feature. But while we're waiting, you know, huge shout out to the sponsors here tonight. Atlantic Management Resources, they have the big blocks which we're currently running, but Amity Construction, an excavation corporation couldn't do this stuff without you guys stepping up and picking up the broadcast. So here at Coast to Coast, we really do appreciate it. We try to make it go as far as we can. Doesn't look like we are going to get the 7 of Bob the Good, as I imagine we're going to run out of grid time here any minute, or any second. My apologies. See the flag man move, readjust himself. He says, yeah, guys, we're done waiting for Bob. Go ahead, roll him on off. And we'll get ready to start Gambler Motorsports Heat Race number 1. Logan Wentz would love to make it 2 for 2 here for Full Throttle Motorsports. And he's got his teammate back there in 4th, and well, another teammate right there behind him in 3rd. So those were 2 of your podiums in the 358s, 3rd and 4th, with Samuel Bachman and Anthony Morano. So those guys trying to figure out a way to get back up to the front once again, but it's not going to be an easy task here at Oswego. A little more power this time around, that will help, but the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Let's go play in the clay at Oswego Speedway. Heat race number 1 underway. Logan Wentz trying to see if he can make that bottom prevail here. Find a little grip. Motor up ahead of that Tua Harold clump. But the Anthony Morano's trying to wheel Harold in there. Big send from Logan Wentz. And Logan Wentz does the disappearing act I told you guys about at the 358. You hit that one spot in the wall and, well, you disappear. And not too sure Anthony Morano, he just blinked there real quick, but Anthony's back. So all good with the 32 as Samuel Bachman tries to get in front of his teammate. He doesn't want to have to ride behind him for a whole nother feature. Wants to get around in the heat race as he goes back to the bottom here in 1 and 2. Anthony Morano doing a good job of holding off his teammate with those big powerhouse runs coming out of 4 here, and he shows us why once again. But Samuel Bachman in that 007 will not go away. He's that annoying thorn in Anthony's side. Was ahead of him there pulling out of the corner, but with the big run for the 32 off the top shelf, able to pull back even. Coming out of 4 this time by cross flags in the air. We're halfway, and man, Samuel Bachman, he is making that bottom work. I didn't think he would, but Anthony Morano, he's got to be sweating here going down the backstretch. They've been side by side for 2.5 laps, and Samuel Bachman doing what he can, but it's Anthony Morano at the line with 3 to go. Samuel trying to dig downstairs. Got the advantage here as we enter 3 and 4, but he's got to keep it in the basement. Doesn't want to slide up in front of his teammate. And, well, here with 2 to go, advantage 32. Anthony Morano drives it in a little deep there in 1 and 2. Gave it up for a second, but, man, he gets such a head of steam coming out of the corner. And come into the white flag out of 4. It's the 32 at the line. If you're Sam Bachman, you got to throw everything you got now. You got to try to get up in front of that 32. not able to do it. Final time through 3 and 4. Who is going to win for Full Throttle Motorsports? It's going to be Samuel Bachman at the line. Leads 1 lap, the most important one, the 8th and final lap. Anthony Morano, P2, Harold Klump 3rd, Butters 4th, Randall Dixon 5th, Logan went 6th, and Bob DeGood 7th. For Mauer Farm Management Heat Race, or Regency Home Inspection Heat Race number 2, excuse me. Starting on the pole, Michael Vitale into his outside, the Canadian Alex Pomerleau. Instead of row number 2, the Brewerton Beast Jeff Barker into his outside, the Philly Flyer Trevor Giroux. Inside of row number 3, your 3rd and final row, Michael Vecchio in the 247 into his outside in the 033, John Morano. As Michael Vitale looks to bring us to the green flag here for Regency Home Inspections Heat Race number 2, as you see that pace car pull off, and man, what a beautiful sunset over there in 1 and 2. Drivers don't have time to appreciate it like we do, though, as going to have their hands full in just about 5 or 10 seconds. Here's the 213. Looks to bring us to the green flag. Let's go play in the clay at Oswego Speedway. Heat race number 2 underway. Alex Pomerleau trying to make that top shelf work, but as for now, advantage Michael Vitale slides up in front, and Alex Pomerleau counters, looks downstairs. Trevor Giroux, the Philly Flyer, man, he turns on the jets, flies around the outside, the 075. He's got dreams of winning heat race number 2. He wants to start on the front row for the feature tonight. Michael Vitale planting himself right in the middle on entry. That almost perfect. It makes Trevor not be able to drive in real deep on the high side unless he wants to, go in there and get in the back of him. And that's not how Trevor races. Trevor races, excuse me. So gonna be as clean as he can throughout this as the Brewerton Beast Jeff Barker looks low for 3rd. Jeff Barker side by side with the Canadian Alex Pomerleau. Not able to get him at the line, but man, we saw Samuel Bachman do it. Jeff Barker can do it too. It's going to take some work. You stay committed, you can make that inside line work. Is Trevor Giroux going to try it for himself? That opens the top shelf for the Canadian, and he goes up there and shuts the door, does the Philly Flyer. Alex Pomerleau drives it in deep, gets so close to getting into that outside wall, but good run off as we're side by side for the lead. Trevor Giroux to the inside of the 213. Not going to get him at the line, but they touch. They touch as they enter 1, and the Philly Flyer, he may use that to his advantage here. Slow down Michael Vitale a little bit and just send it in. The Philly Flyer stuck in the basement down here in 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Michael's up there stealing cookies from Mama on the top shelf. 2 more trips around. Can the Philly Flyer get it done on the bottom? Oh, he almost fed him the rear end going down the backstretch, but Michael Vitale found that sliver of light and he stuck it up top. White flag in the air this time as they come out of 4. Trevor at the line. Trevor's got to get up in front of Michael Vitale here. Easily going to be able to do that, and as long as it's smooth sailing through 3 and 4, heat race number 2 is going to be won by the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, followed by Michael Vitale, Alex Pomerleau, Jeff Barker, Michael Vecchio, and John Morano, excuse me. Man, Alex Pomerleau barely beat Jeff Barker to the line. That was a close race to the start-finish line. Mauer Farm Management heat race number 3 is going to look a little something like this. Starting on the pole, Randy Shreves into his outside, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Brian Dickens to the inside of row number 2, into his outside in the 99, Gavin Chatham. Inside of row number 3, your 3rd and final row, the 94 of Gary Offit, into his outside, Greg Parmalee. Randy Shreves, I mean, they've showed the blueprint on what to do when you start at the bottom. You got to go in there. You got to float up right away. Cut that momentum off. We'll see if B-Temp can stick it up around the top shelf and maybe steal this thing from Randy. But those guys in row number 2, Brian Dickens and Gavin Chatham, no slouches in row number 2. This is going to be a tough heat race here to close out before we roll into the final feature of the night. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. Let's go play in the clay at Oswego Speedway. Brandon Templeton right away trying to plant himself on that top, and boy did it work. Randy Shreves gassed it up a little too hard, lost the rear end off the corner, and he falls on back. We lost Greg Parmalee already. Not sure if him and his teammate Gary Offit got into it, but one down here in the early stages. Gavin Chatham trying to get around the 56 of Randy Shreves. Randy, you see him sliding going down the backstretch. Seems to be struggling a little bit right now in the big block, and you know, just getting out of the small block, that can happen. Struggle a little bit with throttle control, but it'll come to him here as he rolls on through. He's just got to find a way to hold on for now. Brandon Templeton, though, walking out to a huge lead as we zoom out, almost a second over Randy Shreves here in these 3 short laps we've run. And Randy Shreves has a mirror full of that 99. Gavin Chatham, the Dark Knight, tries to look around that top shelf. Gavin really going up there in the Hershey Kisses, getting that right rear as close as he can to that wall, just trying to find some place to make that rear end stick. He goes down to the bottom through 1 and 2, trying to search for some grip down there and just a way around the 56, but right now not going to work. And the 122 of Brian Dickens, he's got a big smile on his face watching Gavin search the bottom. He wants him to stay down there. He wants to keep that top shelf open for him, but man, Gavin realized quick it wasn't going to work, and he falls right back in line. As we roll through 3 and 4, 2 sticks in the air, 2 more trips around for Brandon Templeton, who should be able to hold off this pack if what we've seen so far is any indication. I mean, kind of walked away. Gavin trying to do what he can to work around the 56, but such a tough racetrack to pass on here at Oswego, whether it's asphalt or dirt. And man, you're seeing that here tonight. White flag in the air, final time around. Gavin looks to the inside here as this is our battle on track for P2. Side by side as they enter 3 and 4. Brandon Templeton easily gonna win heat race number 3. Followed by Gavin Chatham, Randy Shreves, Brian Dickens. Gavin Chatham made the move there at the end. Big pass from Gavin Chatham. And with that, we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we'll be right back with tonight's feature action here in the Big Block Modifieds. Stick around. We are back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and Butch, I didn't realize that was based off of real life paint, but yes, I love that blue and yellow scheme. Thing looked really good. I thought it was just maybe a new scheme for you. I wasn't too sure that was a tribute paint or what it is, but right now the Philly Flyer at the top of the charts by 0.2 of a second. Now that's pretty significant. We'll see. Maybe that'll change here as him and Anthony Morano pull into the inside. But right now, it looks like the Philly Flyer, he's got a hot rod. Have to see what that 75 can do here this evening. But as warm-ups come to a close, we'll get ready to bring you tonight's AMR Big Block feature main event here, and we'll show you your starting lineup here presented by RSN Trackside. And, well, starting on the pole, we've got the 007 of Samuel Bachman. Into his outside, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. Inside of row number 2, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Into his outside, Anthony Morano. Inside of row number 3, Michael Vitale. Into his outside, the Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham. Harold Klump to the inside of row number 4, and the Canadian Alex Pomerleau to his outside. Randy Shreves to the inside of row number 5, and to his outside, Butters, Jason Butterfield. The Brewerton Beast to the inside of row number 6, Jeff Barker. Into his outside, Brian Dickens. The 011 rolls off in the Baker's Dozen spot. That's Randall Dixon. Into his outside, Michael Vecchio. Gary Offutt to the inside of row number 8. Into his outside, the 118 of Logan Wentz. John Morano to the inside of row number 9. And his dance partner this evening is going to be Greg Parmalee. Waiting on Bob DeGood there. Didn't make the call in heat race number 1. Doesn't look like he's here for the feature as well, so gonna get ready to roll on without the 7 here this evening. That means 18 cars will take the green flag here at Oswego. All right, picks. Philly Flyer, outside front row. That Venom Man, he's sick of running behind those FTM guys, and, well, this is his chance to get a win here tonight in that 075, and I know he'd love to do that. So we'll have to see if the Philly Flyer can make Shaggy look like he knows what he's talking about and let me go 2 for 2 this evening, or if I'm gonna curse the man in the 075. But we've got 30 laps to decide what's gonna happen here at Oswego. Long race ahead of us. We'll run over to that fridge, crack a cold one, and hang out with us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Let me know in that chat box who you think's gonna win here this evening. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that share button. Let your friends know what you're doing this evening. Hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a show here, because it's always good on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we roll through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Let's go play in the clay at Oswego Speedway. Trevor Giroux brings us, or Samuel Bachman, brings us to the green flag. But Trevor Giroux here, he's trying to lead the opening lap right away, screaming on that high side, the Philly Flyer, as Sam Bachman looks to the basement through 3 and 4. With no caution in the air yet, this is very important. Trevor Giroux, I believe, won the battle to the line, but very close here as Sam Bachman looks to get him back here on lap number 2. Trevor overdrove 1 and 2 a little bit, but is going to get this big run off the top shelf in 3 and 4 to give him the lead back. But he gets into the front stretch wall, and now Sam Bachman thinks about sliding up in front. Can't complete it. Trevor stays to the outside. Sam not able to send it in deep. Going to keep it on the bottom here in front of his teammate in the 32. We got a 3-car battle for the lead, and Sam Bachman back to the lead at the line. Very important in case a caution would come out. Trevor staying committed to that high side right now as we see the 31 coming up here. B-Temp, he likes that top shelf too, and he's showing everybody why as he's in 4th place right now. Greg Parmalee working his way up 3 spots early. Logan Wentz in front of him trying to find his way around Randall Dixon. But the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, to the bottom here as he looks for P2, and he's got it at the line. He's looking for the lead. Anthony Morano, where did he come from on this last lap? He has found something in the basement in 3 and 4. Can he get a good run again? Can he take the lead from his teammate? Not this time. B-Temp going down to the bottom here. He likes what he sees down there, but caution is out on the racetrack. Michael Vecchio in the 247. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. So he gets in the outside wall and well, just kind of brings it to a stop on the racetrack after getting in the outside wall, and caution is going to come out. And that's tough for these guys up front, as they had a good battle in their hands, and now they got to find a way to get back in the rhythm here and go back at it. As guys kind of swapped out here. I mean, well, in row number 2, at least, Trevor liked that high side, and B-Temp was moved down to the bottom. Now, whether that was by choice or kind of out of necessity to get around Trevor, I think he likes the high side as well. So pressure's on Trevor Giroux here to get a good restart and see how that car handles on the bottom. As you know, those boys up front being teammates, they're going to get a good restart here. Going to try their best to distance themselves as much as they can from row number 2 here on this restart. The lights are off. You see under the flag stand. Going to go back green this time by, so the Steve King Foundation pace car will pull off. Anthony Morano will bring us to the green flag. The 32 of Anthony Morano. He's had such a great year. Love to go 2 for 2 here this evening, but he's going to have to beat that 007 as the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. We're back underway here at Oswego Speedway. Sam Bachman trying to get as big of a run as he can here. He wants this lead back from his teammate as we're watching them battle side by side here all throughout. Right now, Sam Bachman with a great send in 3 and 4. He might get this lead back. Not just yet. Anthony Morano, too tough to tame down there in the basement. So you see Samuel Bachman, man, he is driving as hard as he can to get around this 32, but no luck right now as we dive back in the field. Jeff Barker here, he's downstairs able to get around Randy Shreves. Brian Dickens trying to do the same. And that yellow and black machine, that 122 of Brian Dickens, able to get around in the middle of the corner. Randy gets into the wall a little bit, and he's got him at the line. Back out front, though, Anthony Morano trying to separate himself a little bit from his teammate. And, well, Samuel Bachman has easily separated himself from that battle for third between Trevor Giroux and Brandon Templeton. These FTM guys, that I said it to Michael Vitale there after he got the podium in the 358s, they've really been in their own world here in these cars, and they've been tough to beat, but caution is out, so this lead is going to disappear for these front two. As I believe our 4th place car, Brandon Templeton, involved in this wreck. Let's see what happened. So he gets into the wall and goes around, and oh, big hit from Brian Dickens in the 122. And my, oh my, Logan Wentz, Randy Shreves. John Morano gets collected in the end of that. And, man, a lot of cars involved in that one. Man, oh man, that's a tough one for B-Temp, man. He last week had a pretty good run. Just got caught on the high side and maybe a little help getting in the wall, but this week, nobody to blame but me is how the song goes. Brandon Templeton, he's got to look in the mirror for that one. Found himself up towards the front and just got a little too high up over the cushion, got in the wall, and up and around he goes. And Brandon Templeton, that's going to be it for him and Brian Dickens, I believe, both involved in that. It looks like going to call it quits down there. I haven't seen them pull back out, so tough break for those two. And Anthony Morano, he ain't shedding a tear for him, I can tell you that. He wants this thing to, he wants to see 3 more flags here. He wants this green flag, and then he doesn't want another one until he sees that white flag, and then he wants to bring that checkered flag home and put it up on the wall with the 358 one that he got earlier. Is Anthony Morano. Let's see if he's ready to play in the clay. We're back underway at Oswego Speedway. 18 laps to go. Anthony Morano with a great restart. Trevor Giroux with a pretty good restart as well, and able to hang right on the back of Sam Bachman, and he's got to see if he's able to do that again. He doesn't want to let those two run away this time, and right now he's searching in the basement trying to find a new groove, something that the leaders aren't using. And just not working right now. He loses a lot of ground coming off it too. That's where, you know, Anthony and Sam in that middle top groove coming off, they've been so effective here this evening. As Gavin Chatham comes back on the Philly Flyer here, he looks to the high side, trying to get a run in that 99, and right now he pulls up side by side to the door with that 75. Trevor Giroux, he might feel comfortable in the basement right now, but man, it's just not what's quick. And oh, they make a little contact as they enter turn 1, and man, Gavin Chatham able to hold on to it, not going to lose near as much ground as he probably should have. Still side by side as they enter 3 and 4. Jeff Barker on the move up 5 spots up to 6th right now. He's making that bottom line work. The Brewerton Beast is always down there searching, and if he can find some grip, he's sure as hell going to try to make it work. And as of now, being up 5 spots, well, the Brewerton Beast, he's got a hot rod. Logan Wentz, 2 spots behind him. Back there in 9th is the Hard Charger, but we see that checkered flag in the air. We mean yellow flag. It looks like the 033 of John Morano may have been involved in an accident. Let's see if he gets some help. Got Randy Shreves to his left side right now. And yeah, maybe came down a little bit, and Randy just clips the left rear of the 33. Just lifts it up and hard into the inside wall. Tough break for John Morano. Oh! Logan Wentz trying to catch up to the field. He didn't realize he was going to have to slam on the brakes there. Oh! Michael Vecchio barely misses a spinning Logan Wentz. Man, that was some excitement here under caution. As when we go back to green here, should have 11 laps to go. Anthony Morano trying to get some debris off the front of that modified here. Gonna rub the rear end of the Steve King Foundation pace car. He might have to pay for a new paint job next week. Not sure what the budget looks like for the pace car this year. I believe maybe lights will go out. Yeah, this time there they go, and we'll go back racing here with 11 more trips around the sun. 12, excuse me, I always forgot. SDK, it does not like dirt. Those Europeans, they love their asphalt, built for that. That's why the laps change and then come back. But one of these days, us dirt guys will get our recognition here. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. We're back underway, 12 laps to go. Can Anthony Morano go 2 for 2 at Oswego Speedway? Sam Bachman with a much better start this time than the last restart, able to pull away from Trevor Giroux. We saw him get hung up in 1 and 2 early on, and that allowed Anthony Morano to kind of walk away. He's searching back there upstairs through 3 and 4. He's got to find a way to get that thing up the song and run down his teammate in that 32. Let's ride along with Trevor Giroux here in 3rd place. Let's see what he kind of sees. Can hear once he gets out of that shiny stuff, you can hear him try to step on it, exit in the corner, and doing a good job here. There you can hear it winding up, going over those bumps, and that's where you wow, that's when you know the tires are spinning. Maybe you're missing just a little bit of speed in that car. If you could just slow your throttle control down and try to find it. Way easier to talk about it up here than it is to sit in that car and do it, though I can tell you that for certain. As Butters tries to move up into 5th here, he's getting fought hard by Jeff Barker. There's Jeff Barker trying to go up 6 spots here. He wants in that top 5. The Brewerton Beast trying to make it work down low. Got the 213 of Michael Vitale right behind him. Michael's trying to will him on by here. He'd love to follow him by that 93. But when you're down there on the bottom, it's slow and steady, man. You cannot jump in that throttle. You're not going to get it in 1 lap. You're going to get it in about 4 or 5. It's all about patience down there at the bottom. And I do a lot of road racing with that 513, and I'll tell you what, exemplary patience, and you're seeing it right now. And patience may win here. Patience may prevail for the 513, but not just yet. Sam Bachman losing touch with his teammate out front as you see the huge gap. 2 seconds back to Samuel Bachman. The Ant-Man Anthony Morano, he has checked out from the rest of the field here this evening as we're going to just look at this gap here. 4 to go. He needs this thing to stay green. Gavin Chatham looking downstairs, trying to get under the Philly Flyer. Can he get a run here? As he's watching in his mirror, Jeff Barker, he's still trying to work that basement. Hasn't been able to get it done. Not sure if he's going to be able to get it done because, man, they're running out of time. 3 more laps to go. Oh, Butters with a big send in the background. Does that open the door for Jeff Barker? Not just yet. It's too good of a run off the corner for the 93 of Jason Butterfield. Is 2 more laps to go. Anthony Morano gets the 2 flags. Trevor Giroux trying to do what he can to hold on to that 3rd and final podium spot because 2nd place right now out of touch. This is the only dream he has, is the white flag in the air. Anthony Morano already by 3.5 second lead on the rest of your field as he comes down the backstretch for the final time. Anthony Morano through 3 and 4 He's taking home 2 checkered flags tonight at Oswego Speedway. Sam Bachman going to bring home second. Trevor Giroux holds off Gavin Chatham for that third and final podium spot. Jason Butterfield rounds out the top 5. Close battle between him and Jeff Barker. Michael Vitale 7th, Alex Pomerleau 8th, Randy Shreves 9th, Logan Wentz rounding out the top 10. The rest of your finishing order: Randall Dixon, Michael Vecchio, Harold Klump, Greg Parmalee, Gary Offit, John Morano, Brian Dickens, Brandon Templeton, and Bob DeGood. It's great ending here. Once again, these guys did not disappoint. Amazing racing. And Anthony Morano able to come out victorious once again here at Oswego Speedway. We're going to give Trevor Giroux a minute or two to catch his breath, hop up here in the waiting room, and we're going to pull up the Philly Flyer here and see if we can't get a word or two with him. And it looks like he has made his way on up here. Hey, Trevor, Shaggy up here, man. You got a copy?
Gotcha.
Well, man, first off, blame me. I picked you to win. My apologies here. I shouldn't have done that to you. But, it seemed like there the opening couple laps, I mean, you had something there for Sam, and then out of nowhere, man, Anthony Morano just found the bottom, and, dude, he just blew everyone's doors off.
Yeah, Anthony and the bottom. I mean, that's just the combo you can't beat. I mean, he's not probably. He is the best driver I've ever seen run the bottom. Like, that guy makes the bottom work when it shouldn't. Like, I've never seen it before. So, yeah, props to him. Like, I was running the bottom there, and it's just there's just no way I can do it like he can. I mean, the track was pretty rough tonight too. So, on the exits there, the car was bouncing a lot. So, my hands are pretty sore right now, hanging onto that wheel.
Yeah, I mean, this is a long racetrack, and doing 55 laps and 2 races. That's a workout, and able to bring it home here. P3, man, probably not where you wanted, but all in all, good points night, good run for you here, Trevor. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, you know what? I'll take third all day, because it was getting to a point there where I was starting to think I wasn't going to be able to talk to you again, Shaggy. And you know what? I like talking to you, so it made me a little sad. Just got to thank all the guys at Venom here. Dean Reynolds with the Super Dirt Car Series. I got to thank Big Tim Race Wraps for these awesome wraps here. Shout out to them FTM boys there, finishing third to them guys. No problem with that for me. So, yeah, just thanks to everybody who comes on board these rides. Everybody at C2C, you for doing the broadcast. Shaggy, I love when you're up in the booth here. You do a good job, and I like talking to you. Hopefully I'm talking to you next week.
Well, hey, man, you're one of my favorites. Always love having you up here, Trevor. Great run here tonight. And like you said, man, hopefully we talk a little bit more next week, my man.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Shaggy.
That's your third place finisher, Trevor Giroux. And now we're going to bring up the man finishing second here tonight, Sam. Well, we're watching kinda. I rewinded back here to the beginning. So right now you were in a hard battle there with Trevor, and it just seemed like out of nowhere, man, that 32 caught you guys napping and snuck around on the bottom. What do you got to do to beat that guy?
It's pretty hard to beat Anthony, to be honest. When it becomes the bottom or whatever, you just gotta be better than him. But it's pretty hard to do that. He's just so flawless down there.
Yeah, we see you searching throughout the race here up top. Were you surprised that big run out of 3 and 4 didn't really come in like? I thought it was going to be a lot stronger than what it was.
Yeah, it was actually a little burned off up there. It seemed like where the turn really started turning, it was getting real close to the wall. It was all pretty much slicked up all the way, so you had to get off the gas a lot more and then let the car grab and then go. So I was losing a lot of momentum on the coming out of 4, and he was killing me there.
Well, at the end of the day, man, 2 podiums here tonight at Oswego, so you got to feel pretty good, and a Full Throttle Motorsports 1-2 here to finish the night. So congratulations, Sam. Good run on P2, man. Who you want to thank?
all the boys over at FTM, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard. Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, Shaggy, you for putting the doing the broadcast, and Coast to Coast.
Well, hey, hell of a run here, Sam. Good points tonight for you. Look forward to talking to you again, my man.
Thank you.
That's Samuel Bachman, your P2 finisher. And with that, we'll bring up the man of the hour here, Anthony. 2 for 2 tonight. And, you know, the big block, the small block, you made it look like a race here. But, Jesus, man, when you find yourself the bottom here in this big block, good luck to everybody else. I mean, dude, 3.5 seconds. How do you do that? Anthony, I think your mic's muted. I can see you're pushing, but I don't hear you. I just noticed that. Oh, I can see it popping up, but I don't hear you. Let's see here. Hey, Sam, can you hear Anthony talking, or is it just me?
I can't hear you, Anthony.
Okay. All right. So it's not me tonight. I was worried. Discord acted funny on me last night. And oh, man, I thought it was happening again here during interviews. I was about to have a breakdown. Let's see if we can find him together here.
Knock, knock, Anthony.
No, yeah, it's popping up that his green button, like he's trying to with the push to talk, but I'm not hearing him.
Yeah, no, I don't hear him. That's weird. We just heard him in the Discord.
Yeah, it's so weird. See here, we'll give him another minute or so. Nah, yeah, Anthony, I can see it popping up like you're trying to talk, but they're not hearing you, dude. I don't know what's going on. You're going to have to do what Randy Shreves did. You're going to have to write down all your sponsors in the YouTube chat box now. Because but all right, Sam, thanks for trying to help me out there.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll send Anthony back down. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know why we're not getting Anthony's mic here, but I picked on him, actually. He got me a gig. I got to do a broadcasting gig coming up on Sunday nights, and he races in there. And I told him I could almost do his interview for him, so we'll see. He'd like to thank his wife, Sherry. He'd like to thank Logan at Super Dirt Car, Swan Speed Shop, and Hi Mom Lens. Obviously, those are the ones there. Everyone at Full Throttle Motorsports, Dean. I guess it's Logan at Swan Speed Shop and Dean at Super Dirt Car. See, all right, Anthony, I'll get it. Okay, so we want to thank Dean. We want to say hi to Dylan and Scott at Oswego Super Dirt Car Week, and maybe hi to Megan. Megan's probably not watching because she's probably hanging out with Dean and Isaac right now, but we'll see. Tried to do it for you there, Anthony. Not as well as you would have done it, but man, it was a great race and night here on Thursday Night Thunder, coast to coast, and glad you guys could all join me here for it. Anthony able to go 2 for 2 here. That's a big deal at a track that's really tough to pass at. Found a way around on the bottom and, man, just never looked back. Won by over 3 seconds. So great run for the 32 as he'll probably leave here the points leader in both divisions. So good luck to everyone else running down that Full Throttle Motorsports machine this season. But huge thanks to everyone at Coast to Coast, Roger Craig, Jeff Barker, Bill Calder, Patrick Spangler, all the other admins here that make it run smooth. Amity Construction Corporation. Get in touch with them for all your excavating needs. AMR or Atlantic Management Resources. I mean, huge sponsors here in the Coast to Coast. Couldn't do it without you. I'm Zach Chapman signing off with Shaggy TV. Join us Monday night here for Monday Night Madness at 7 o'clock. Me and Marty Sacalo on the call. I'm signing off. Have a good evening.